You are what you watch. Hello, my name is Harrington Watko and welcome to our program. I was looking at the monitor to see exactly when I come on. Now last Wednesday to be specific, we had a show. The question was, let's see, did Juan de la Cruz really do the voting in the last elections? Basically, the topic being electoral fraud. If indeed it was one, how was it done and whatnot? Now in that particular show last week, we had the resource people from, we had an IT expert, Mr. June Estrella. We also had Mon Pedrosa, and likewise we had another guest, Mr. Paglinawan, who came in. And four of us discussed basically the many issues that are being tackled on how fraud was put into place during what we call the AES, or the automatic election system. Now, was there one? Is there one? And whatnot? Tomorrow, from what I understand, there will be a forum. There will be a presentation at the Manila Polo Club. That's in Makati, actually. And there will be many new presentations, if I'm not mistaken. Two new pieces of evidence will be reintroduced to come out with exactly what happened, how things happened. Alam niyo po, dito sa Pilipinas, sinasabi nila, yung mga natatalo, hindi natatalo na dadaya. Well, in this case, it's not too much who's losing, but can we find out the truth? Now, we've been espousing that right here in GNN from day one, or the day of the elections. Meaning we've been asking for a third party, an independent third party audit of the very system. From the way it was that we sounded like last week, we realized we took up the whole show without actually giving proposals of what to do next and whatnot. It sounded like, to a certain extent, like we were griping. But the gripe is not too much because we just want to gripe. It's simply because we want to know the truth, whether you and I can handle it or whatever dire consequences truth may bring. It is still no less than the truth. We espouse that we should have the third party assessment. Now, the answer to this by the COMELEC and Smartmatic is like they have a gavel and they bang in the table, tapos sasabihin nila, noted. Hanggang doon na lang po. Hindi naman pwede po yan. If there was malice, and there was intent, there's motive, well, let us find out, and you and I, the viewers, should be the judge of that. With us today in our program, we will continue and call this part 2. But the topic I put together is electoral fraud, resolution, question mark. I'd like to come up with a resolution. I'd like to come up with the reasons behind it, other than exactly what we saw or what was criticized of as of last week. With us again, we have the IT expert. We have June Estrella. It's a one-on-one, so that we can go down straight to the facts and find out all the issues. Salamat, June, for being here again.
Good afternoon.
Alam mo, I really, like I said last week as we were ending it, I have difficulty ending a show without proposing some type of recommendation. Let's do a quick, maybe you can present a very quick analysis lang to update our viewers. Exactly why electoral fraud? Very quickly lang, quick summary.
Well, we mentioned the last time that there were several security features that were required by the law that were either intentionally or unintentionally disabled before the elections. And this is the critical part, because if a COMELEC, constitutional body, despite the rulings of the Supreme Court, will remove or disable these required security features, there must be some intent, a real strong reason behind it.
And consequence of that, pag tinanggal mo yun, one is a verification of the registration of the voters coming in, whether it's fake or not, and two, the possibility of now overprinting ballots.
Well, that's one, yes.
That's direct consequence yun, eh?
That's right, yes. Which means if you remove the UV scanning capability of the PICOS, it's possible that the ballots that will be entered in those PICOS machines may not be the authorized ones.
Or multiple entry.
Multiple entry.
Multiple entry, okay. Yes. What were the other points that we discussed last week? Marami yun, eh. But quick summary lang.
The digital signature.
The digital signature tinanggal, that was discussed in the canvassing.
That's right.
And how convenient it was likewise sidelined.
Yes, because it is only the digital signature that can authenticate the transmission of the election returns from the precincts to the municipality or to the city.
To identify
the genuineness
votes,
and
yes.
veracity of the
vote.
of the election returns, the votes that were counted in the precincts.
Tomorrow, on the presentation tomorrow, I understand there's going to be two new pieces of evidence that will be presented again to the public. We'll be covering it, so you'll be watching it in GNN and easily on Monday.
Yes.
You will watch the whole proceeding blow by blow as it goes, no annotation and no editorial. It'll be as it is. June, I'd like to go, instead of going back to on all those issues, let's assume that electronic fraud took place. Pag-usapan po natin, paano yan? Anong motibo naman yan? Kasi kung si GMA, sasabihin na naman natin, kasi alam mo naman, pambato ng bayan, talaga lahat ng kalokohan galing kay GMA. Parang gano'n ang public opinion eh.
Yes.
Sasabihin na naman nila, si GMA gumawa na. Kung si GMA, natalo nga naman si Gibo.
Yes, yes.
So, what did she benefit? Yan, assuming siya.
Okay.
Ano tingin yung motibo niyan?
Okay, well, let's look at the scenario.
Okay.
Looking at the scenario. And this is strengthened by two incidents that came out after the elections. One is
Okay.
the koala bear. Okay.
Oh, lumabas yung the anonymous, yeah.
Okay. And the other, and very few will know about it, is a set of recordings, audio recordings, and a set of emails that were posted on the net. In fact, there's still an investigation going on by the NBI, asking the help of the
Who posted that? Who created that posting?
Who
You know, wala.
created that right now. If you set that aside, and you look at the reasons, possible reasons, why all of these security features, for example, were taken out, including some of the things that you'll probably say, yung mga rason na sinabi ng COMELEC, for example, number one, masyadong mahal. Eh hindi na mahal yun kasi kasama na yun sa kontrata.
Oo, tama yun. Kasama talaga yun. Nakalagay sa kontrata na yun.
Maliwanag sa kontrata, hindi lang sa kontrata, sa batas, sa kontrata, at saka sa bid specifications. Okay? Number two, ang sabi nila, pwede na yung password at saka yung I-button. Pero alam naman natin, yung I-button at password, hindi digital signature yun eh. Tigabukas lang ng makina yun eh, para mabuksan mo lang yun. Pangatlo, ang sabi nila eh, mababawasan mo yung oras ng transmission. Kung ang oras ng transmission, which is the reality, was about 42 an hour, ano ba naman yung ikikiin mo lang yung digital signature mo para mawala? Okay?
So nawala yung mga safeguards?
Nawala lahat ng mga safeguards na yun. Now, if you look at it, could that be a reason na tatanggalin mo yan? Even assuming na magbabayad ka, wouldn't you spend money really to really have it there? Because that's the most important part of the election. Sisiguraduhin mo yung mga boto sa presinto pagdating sa munisipyo. Parehong bilang, pati sa national. Ngayon, kung hindi mo sigurado yan, ano pa yung tinatawag na due execution and authenticity of the document? Wala kang base.
Walang base. Pero sinong gagawa niyan? Anong motibo?
Okay.
Alam mo, number one, magastos yan, Mr. Papan. At sino nagbenta? COMELEC? Sino kaya? Okay. Anong motibo kaya niyan?
Well, like I said, I'm very fortunate that in 2004, I was a resource person in the Senate. And after 2 years, almost 2 years of looking at the exercise, I find that the modus operandi during that time is the same as the modus operandi this year.
In spite of this being automated and the other on manual?
That one is the same modus operandi, mas mabilis ngayon because it's automated. It's automated.
So kung
and I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding.
Sige, go ahead.
Okay, now, the idea is not to tamper with all of the 76,340 precincts. The idea is to only work on the areas, geographic areas, where you have control. Okay? What do you mean by control? Number one, the control is at the level of the COMELEC, from the regional election officer down to the lowest election board of election inspector, which are teachers and municipal treasurers and superintendent of school. If you have that network,